So let's move down onto our back, and we're going to do this in a way that's going to cause less stress on the lower back. So one way you can do this is to reach out and use the top hand to guide you down and roll over onto your back. Or if that's not an option because of shoulder issues, then you can come down almost the same way, but place your top hand down, thread this arm through and roll onto that side, and that just saves any shoulder issues as well. And then when you come down onto your back, and just kind of take a few moments to get yourself settled. Maybe you need a prop under your head, maybe a cushion or a small cushion so that you're not too elevated into the neck or the head. I'm going to use a little folded blanket. So you're looking at sort of keeping the head pretty much in line with the sternum and the rest of the front of the body. So if you find that you're all the way back here, it might mean then yes, you do need to sort of lift yourself up a bit more. So spend a few moments just observing and feeling into the body, feeling into the feet and the pelvis and the lower back and the whole spine. So really landing in this space. And have this sense of grounding into the earth. So whatever's touching the earth, the pelvis, the feet, inviting a sense of connection here. Maybe you need to just gently tuck the shoulder blades under. Hands can rest on the belly and the knees about hip distance apart, but we're not looking at real precision here. So roughly about hip width apart is okay. Tuning into the body and noticing the breath. So it's really important here to not judge ourselves on how we are feeling or how we move or how we breathe. We're not actually trying to fix anything. We're just observing all the time, calming down the nervous system and then bringing a little bit of nourishment to the body. A well-deserved, nourishing movement practice that's actually very low-key today. So this could be ideal for you if you've had a really busy day at work, feeling a little bit stressed, aches and pains, maybe a little lower backache, and not in the mood to do anything dynamic, then this is going to be perfect for you today. So we'll begin by rocking the knees from side to side. You can bring the hands down if you want. And focusing on the feet, rolling towards the outer edges and the inner edges of the arches as you move the knees. So not a very big range of movement here, so quite subtle. But what I want you to notice is the pelvis and how that feels as you rock from side to side. The breath. So allow the breath to flow freely and to be natural here. We're not going to be looking at doing any specific breath practices today. And then bring your knees back to center. Just relax the pelvis. Imagine the pelvis being really heavy and falling into the earth. You can bring the hands back onto the belly. You could place one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest or the ribs. And see if you can breathe into your hands. You might find that you need to yawn, or you might want to kind of open the jaw a little bit, just relieving any tension around the face and the jaw and the neck. Or a big sigh. And all these little things are signals to the nervous system to relax and enjoy a little bit of downtime. So, I invite you now to begin to take your head to one side and then the other. So rolling through the head, so moving the upper part of the vertebrae. And this is interesting because I quite often begin to move my left shoulder up towards my ear when I'm turning my head in this way. And you may find that, these movements begin to trigger things, sensations, frustrations, or even just complete calmness into the body, or a huge yawn. So I want you to invite all of that in. You can pause anywhere and just relax. Allow the whole body to root down into the earth and relax. The spine melting towards the floor. Breathe into the sides of the neck. You can come back into center. Go the opposite way. And anytime you feel dizzy or something doesn't feel quite right, just take a moment to pause, or maybe just roll over onto your side and just reorientate yourself. And then we're going to come back to center. So a little bit more movement with the pelvis now. So rocking the pelvis, diving the tailbone down towards the floor, and then lifting it up towards the ceiling. So I'm doing this without lifting my bottom off the floor. So you can see here that it's a movement of rolling through the pelvis. So moving through the pelvic bowl, as though you're massaging into the lower back, into the sacrum, so that's the base of the spine. And then you come into a central point here. And then bring your right knee in towards you. So taking hold of your right knee with your right hand, and you're going to move round in little circles. So moving around into the joints. You could take really big circles here, but for the moment let's keep it quite contained. Notice what the ribs do. Allow this area to soften. So lubricating into the hip socket here. We go the opposite way. See if the arm can do a bit of the work as well, so the leg can relax a little bit. Notice what the other leg's doing if it wants to move over towards the side and you find yourself kind of rolling. Let's see if we can keep it more contained. And then pausing, relaxing, a little squeeze in towards the armpit area. And I say that so that we're not sort of crushing into our tummies. So we're allowing a little bit of space there. Moving that away, take the hands, place around the back of the thigh. You could also use a strap or a towel, and we're lengthening the leg up and down. So lengthening. So you could breathe in as you lengthen the leg, breathe out as you lower the leg. And then pause at the top. We're going to flex and point the foot. So working into the ankle joint here. Our feet are so important. They provide a huge amount of feedback to the rest of the body. And when we're in shoes that constrict us, it can cause a chain reaction up through the whole body and can make our calves tight and our ankles tight. We can get things like plantar fasciitis and other aches and pains, and this is more so as we get older as well. So keeping the foot mobilized is really key. So let's take a little circle round, just work in your own range of movement here. Doesn't have to be as big a range as mine, and go the opposite way. Just do whatever feels nourishing. And then we like to wiggle the toes, so you separate the toes out and give them a little wiggle. They might move in one block, but that's okay. You might be able to move like the toe on its own or the little toe on its own. See if you can separate them out. This is good for the brain as well. And then maybe scrunch the toes, move the toes as a whole. You might find you get cramps doing this, so that's quite common. And let's take the whole leg now and just give it a shake. So we're going to shake, 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 shake. Take a few breaths in, breathing out, legs, give them a huge shake, relieving any tension in the legs. Especially if you've been standing on your legs all day. This is a great one to do. And then take the leg, place it on the opposite knee, if it will go. Press that whole leg into this leg, and at the same time press this leg up into this leg. So you're having this movement where we're actually tightening and contracting the muscles there of the whole of the leg. So adding a little bit of strength. And then move your legs from side to side. Just very subtly. And then we're going to take that pressure off. Release, release, breathe. Take this leg down. And we're going to lengthen it along the floor. If this feels okay on your back, lengthen your leg away. Otherwise, keep the leg where it was. Lengthen that leg away. Now, can you reach and reach that leg away from you? Take a breath or two. And relax, and then we're going to do it again. So you're going to reach this leg away as though you're trying to lengthen your waist and reach away. At the same time, if your shoulder's okay to do this, you could take this arm up and over, grab hold of the wrist and gently, gently pull, but don't pull too much. Just a little tiny bit of opening through the side of the waist. Take a breath into that space. And then relax, relax, relax. Now to bring that leg in, a little bit of core work as you slide that leg back in there. Good. Take a pause here and really notice the body. Have a sense of the right and the left leg and how that feels. And then we'll take our left leg. So we're going to draw this left knee towards us a little bit, and then we're going to begin circling round. You might find you can extend this other leg away now, but if it's causing problems on the lower back, just keep it bent. I'm going to extend mine away for the moment, but we'll need to slide it in a minute for the strengthening part. So I'm kind of using my arm here as a guide for my leg. Rather than my leg doing the movement, I'm really using my arm and letting my leg relax. And then I'll bring this knee in towards the armpit, just a little squeeze. Take a breath. And then exhale. And then release. And then take your hand behind the leg, extend up, and then lower down. Extend the leg and lower. And if you feel more comfortable, bring that other leg in. So inviting a breath to flow through the body. And then leaving the leg where it is. And it's quite important that when you're in this little pose here, that you're not lifting the hips up off the floor. So you want to keep your sacrum, you want to keep the pelvis down towards the floor. So that's quite important. I meant to say that on the other side, but these little reminders. And then from there we can flex and point the foot. Let's flex and point. And then notice also if the neck is starting to tense, the jaw's starting to tense, or you're gripping with your teeth, or you're tightening through your shoulders. Allow this whole area to let go a little bit. So mobilizing through the foot, we're going to take a little circle, a few times one way, and a few times the other way. See if we can move the toes individually. It's quite tricky to do, and you might find one side's better than the other as well. That's always very interesting. So I can move my little toe, my big toe, but the ones in between are a little bit harder to move. Not quite there yet. And then we can scrunch the toes up, extend them. Scrunch the toes, extend. Scrunch and extend them. So let's give the leg a little shake out. Shake it out. Really vigorously shake, 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 shake. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then take that same leg onto the opposite knee if it will go. Press down through that foot. Press the leg up to meet the foot. Feeling that sense of groundedness and that strength. And keep it contained as you gently rock from side to side. So opening out through the hip a little bit. And then we'll come back to center. Take the knee off, slide it to the floor. If that feels doable. And then reach that leg, not just from the knee down, but the whole of the leg all the way up into the rib. Reach down. Take a few breaths, reaching and breathing into the sides of the waist. And relax. Give the leg a little shake if you need to. And the next time we'll incorporate the arms. So this time, reach it away. If you feel your shoulders okay, reach the arm slightly behind you, grab the wrist with the opposite hand and very gently pull, not too much, but enough to feel a light stretch and more space down the side. Breathe into that space. and then relax. Bring the arms down. Use your core to slide the leg in. Pause again and notice the space. It might be very subtle. We might feel a lot. And then take the feet a little bit further away, and we're going to start to rock the whole body. So just rock, rock, rock. Almost like a little reset of the whole body. And then we're going to take the feet a bit wider, nearly as wide as the mat. Shift the pelvis up, lower it down, and then take your knees over to one side then the other. So windscreen wiping the legs, but rather than just sort of letting them flop, I want to invite you to ground down through the feet and rolling through the inner and outer arches of the foot. If you press down, you can also feel possibly the muscles starting to fire up on each side. So as you turn and press down, say now I'm turning towards my left and I'm pressing down with my right foot, I can feel the muscles firing up in the hamstring, the back of the leg, and into my glutes as well. And then I'm going to take this over to the other side. I'm going to press as I move over towards the right. I'm going to press down into my left foot, and there I will feel the movement or the contraction up into this area. But I'm going to do this really slowly. So I invite you to do the same if it feels okay on your body. If it doesn't, then take it into just a normal windscreen wiper without pressing too hard into the feet. We're just allowing the movement to wash from side to side. So pressing into that opposite foot as your knees go the other way, come to center, and then press the other way. And it's almost as though you were lengthening out this side of the waist. We come back to center and we press with the opposite leg. So this is a great mobilization movement, and we're doing it really slowly, contained and really controlled. Breathe throughout. And it just releases any tightness and stiffness. At the same time, we're getting a bit of strengthening. We'll do it once more. Take your time and come back to center. And now wiggle the feet back towards the middle. And here is where you will take your block, or you could use your cushion or another folded blanket if you're using one already underneath your head. Press your feet into the floor, pick up the pelvis, and then bring the block towards the sacrum area. So not the lower back, but just below there. So you're in a supported bridge. And if that feels okay, you can stay there. If it doesn't, just come back down into constructive rest and relax there. If you wanted to, you could take your feet up, or bring one knee up, then the other, and just hold it with the legs, with the hands, or you could extend the legs in the air. Tuning back with the breath. Soften through the eyes, soften through the face and the jaw, and the neck, the shoulders. And imagine your legs are completely weightless. Allow them to just dangle in the air. Fantastic for those tired feet and legs. And just pause here if you can for a few more moments with your breath. Allow yourself to feel grounded. Really softening into the experience. When you're ready to come down, lower one leg first. We'll do this very slowly and mindfully, and then the other leg, and then incrementally just taking that leg down, then the other leg, pausing at each stage. Ground down through your feet, pick up the pelvis, bring your support from out underneath you, and then we're going to take this down really slowly. Place your hands onto your thighs. I want you to roll down through the spine just very slowly. Press your thighs away from you as though you're trying to create more space in the groin. And land back down onto the mat. Notice what you notice. Soften into the experience. And from here you can move straight into Shavasana if you wish. You could stay obviously in this position for as long as you want, for as long as time allows you to. If any of these places don't feel so great anymore, then you can take this to the side. You can come into a sideline Shavasana. And you can take any support, use a blanket or a block. You can also bring in a bolster and hug the bolster, bring it over, and you can tuck yourself right in. And stay in this comfortable position of your choice for as long as you wish. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.